All right. We are testing this new situation here at the DarkDox Studios. Got a little chroma key action again. It's been a while to be in the infinite void of all of my heads. And yeah, today a bunch of stuff happened and InfoWars covered better than anyone else. So we're just going to go down the featured global bombshell. Am I on? Hold on. I just want to make sure before I start rattling off stuff that I am actually, in fact, online. Yeah, here I am. All right, great. So, yeah, welcome to Dark Ducks episode 2. And I'm going to have to mute that because that's crazy. And yeah, there was a global bombshell. The NIH documents prove that COVID 19 was weaponized in a lab and released on the world to establish planetary medical dictatorship run by the UN and the World Health Organization. Respect is the longest headline ever. Respected attorney Mike Yoder joins Alex Jones to publicly lay out this smoking gun information. Yeah, so this document that they have, they'll probably show it in the first couple seconds here. Yeah, this is from March 26th and 27th of 2015. Outright laying out the whole. It was. It came from a lab. It was done as an experiment, and you can watch it on your own. Um, but yeah, the main stuff I want to focus on, the funny stuff, is the Gulf of America. Donald Trump, he wants to change the name to Gulf of America instead of Gulf of Mexico. What do you think? I was looking at the map, and I know the maps are kind of warped. So, uh, I'm not exactly sure what it looks like 50-50 between like how much land there is on the coast. I don't know. It's a funny idea though. As well as acquiring Greenland. Apparently, Don Jr. was out there. Um, Mark Zuckerberg is trying to be back in our social graces. I don't know, man. Like, I'm never going back to Facebook, guys. I'm never signing up for that weird, the metaverse. It's the creepiest, cringiest. And I love that, like, he's trying to look like a human being now. So, like, he has, like, he's like, oh, my emoji now has a gold necklace and curly hair. So I'm more human. Like, that guy freaks me the hell out. So, no, I'm not coming back to Facebook. You can go fuck yourself. Um, CNN panel erupts as pundit points out Ashley Babbitt was only J6 casualty. Yeah, the media really has to stop with this. I mean, how dumb do they think we are? Apparently, some people are still falling for this stuff. Like, there was no cops killed on January 6th. Look it up. The only person that died that day was Ashley Babbitt. There was another person that died shortly after. Might have been complications from being in the crowd. I don't know. It was a mob. It was a lot of people. Very sad. But the media, come on, like, get over it. Not a snowball chance in hell. Trudeau lashes out at Trump over plan to force Canada to become 51st state. uh, yeah, so they're saying the whole thing with the resignation with Trudeau yesterday that it's a slick way of kind of still operating from behind the scenes and oh, this is a good John Bowne report. I'm gonna play some of this. It's been crushing it lately.
One of the things that I have observed as an attorney who was a trial attorney for 34 years, is that Judge Merchant is making such blatant reversible errors. He absolutely knows that a conviction in this case, it will be reversed on appeal. And it's as though he is attempting to do that because he knows that no such appeal would actually take place prior to November. Yet he would have a conviction on the books, which is the classic, and I think in this case exposes the way in which they are using lawfare against President Trump. I have never seen a judge make the kind of errors that this judge has made in this case before. And I think he recognizes that a conviction, it would be overturned on appeal. That is what our justice system has turned into because of the lawfare being waged by the Democrats. It has to end.
I need to call this out. We collectively, prosecutors, are pushing the boundaries of due process here. The general back and forth in the courtroom today was the defense lawyers saying, Your Honor, please tell the jury specifically what the other crime is, right? Prosecutors have to prove falsified records for another crime. Defense lawyers were begging him. They have to know what the other crime is. And prosecutors were saying, no, let's keep it
This
very
guy's really hard to
vague
listen
and
to.
general. It's a bizarro world. I know that there is some aggressive reading of the New York statute that says, well, the jury doesn't really have to know what the other crime is. But to me, that suggests that the DA's office is hell-bent on getting the conviction now and worry about the fallout.
In a corrupt New York courtroom, Justice Merchant will deliver on January 10th what amounts to a judicial shrug. Unconditional discharge, they're calling it. No jail time, no probation, not even a fine, just a headline. After the massive 2016 porn star hush money case rolled across the lower thirds of the Mockingbird media, increasing in intensity into the 2024 election cycle. The 34 felony counts essentially adding up to a roller coaster ride all the way to January 10th, 2025, when Justice Merchant will perform his judicial tap dance, and we'll all pretend this isn't completely bullshit and bat insane.
Say it's not a Me Too case.
It is not a Me Too case. I mean, I wasn't assaulted. I wasn't attacked or raped or coerced or blackmailed. They tried to shove me in the Me Too box to further their own agenda. And first of all, I didn't want any part of that because it's not the truth, and I'm not a victim in that regard.
That's not what she's saying now. She's talking about he was bigger and blocking the way. It's all the Me Too buzzwords. She said there was a power imbalance of power for sure. My hands were shaking so hard. She said she blacked out.
And Mr. Trusty, I think that you testified that in all of your years of experience, you've never seen a circumstance where a defendant had a gag order imposed against them. Is that correct?
It's a weird case. The whole thing is just batshit. What else we got here? What other fun things happened today? I hope you guys are all having a good new year. Of course. Oh yeah, we have a big interview coming up. Suicide chat bots apparently are becoming an I don't mean to laugh, but apparently there's been like multiple suicide attempts of young people due to using AI chat bots that are suggesting certain things to them, and they're building cases. I have one of the victim's mothers that wants to do a show soon. Leave it at that. Yeah, UK Starmer. Let's see if we can find some of that stuff. Like this whole rape gang outrage that's going on. There's a lot of these rape gangs are going around raping people in the United Kingdom, and people are outraged about it, rightfully so. And so, like their prime minister, he's saying everyone that's complaining about it's far right. It's like you really moved the goalpost. That you have to be far right. Oh yeah, here's this Gulf of America. What do you guys think? You think you can pull this off? It'd be hilarious.
We're going to be announcing a future date pretty soon. We're going to change because we do most of the work there and it's ours. We're going to be changing sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which is a beautiful ring that covers
It's a beautiful ring.
the Gulf of America. What a
Never seen rings like these before.
It's appropriate. It's appropriate. And Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico and Canada, because Canada, they come through Canada too, and the drugs that are coming through are at record numbers. Record numbers.
You've never seen numbers like these. He looks good. He looks sharp. I mean, much sharper than Joe. Where is Joe? And how is he doing? Are you still alive? Have you been alive for years? I don't know. More January 6th stuff. Release these poor people that I mean, dare I say, reparations? Dare I say, their lives have been irreparably damaged by this false imprisonment. Political prisoners, release them all. Um, what else we got here? Ugh, we need to stop giving money to everybody else. But first, this is more important. This UN Gates new global pandemic using the virus HMPV under Operation Catastrophic Contagion. I'm going to play a clip of this.
So this term quademic, it refers to the convergence of high levels of, just like you said, flu, COVID, RSV, and this norovirus. And there are multiple factors at play here. Different social, environmental, biologic factors that are causing these numbers that, in New York, it's not unprecedented to see high levels of viral syndromes, especially during the winter when there's indoor crowding, increased travel, lots of different gatherings. But there are other factors at play here, such as viral evolution, new strains that emerge, lots of different things.
Doctor,
Let's stop there. Yeah, get everybody those COVID shots on record causing other viruses to mutate quicker. That's on record. So I said months ago and weeks ago, and I said that it's a bunch of stuff, so we're too confused. It's a shell game. It'll probably be a completely new virus. And then there it was, the different war games of Gates. A new pneumonia out of China, they predict, and it hits kids. I've been talking about that for years because he likes to tell you what he's going to do beforehand. So they can all say he's a genius or just what he predicts happens when he's the one on record funding Eco Health Alliance and the making of it. COVID in that case. And now the new drill that they've been doing under that term for 3 years is catastrophic contagion. And the exact type of virus they predict magically now shows up. HMPV, which is basically the hepatitis causing family viruses that's suddenly airborne and attacks your lungs and hits kids. These globalists are desperate. They've committed mass crimes with the COVID and the COVID shots and the rest of it. They need a new pandemic that's even worse to make you forget about the last stuff you did so they can pose as saviors. And so I'm really concerned that they've either released or are about to release something really, 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 really nasty. Because if I was them and I was going to be evil and I could put myself in that mindset, I would release something far worse. They're desperate. They need to really scare people. Bill Gates said in his war games, oh, don't worry, the next thing's going to be much worse and it's going to hit kids. You'll see. And
So there you have it. That was weird. My whole thing froze up here for a second. All right, and we're back. Yeah, they're gonna try it again. They're gonna try to scam us. I still see people wearing masks. Like, guys, I'm still here. We were right about COVID. I was taking Trio Life. You can still get it. TrioLife.com. And they're running out of the EFAs, and if people don't get them, they're probably going to go out of business. And it's a damn shame because you can read the testimonials, you can look at the resources. I don't even get paid, but he gives me a lot of, the products that I've been using for over a decade. It's a great source of essential fatty acids that are organic, flour-based oils. But something kind of cool, I am going to do a little bit of pimping. If you go to thealexjonesstore.com/DarkDox, it redirects you to the alexjonesstore.com, but you'll see that there's this little reference code that will give us here at DarkDox 10% of whatever you purchase. So if you spend $50, they'll give us $5. And I actually get some of these supplements. I've been using definitely the Ultimate Sea Moss gummies. I just reordered those. Haven't tried the turmeric yet. And they got good stuff. They got apparel, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, a bunch of Trump stuff, of course. Some funny stuff. We got a Trump on the stump on our tree this year. You can post your photos and stuff. It's fun. It helps fund the InfoWar, and it can't be stolen by those scumbags over at Bloomberg that are trying to take over InfoWars with the Onion. So there's lawsuits going on, but this is a third-party vendor. It's actually run by bigly, and they run a bunch of different stores and stuff, and very solid, very quick orders and stuff. So enough pimping, you know. If you get something, throw in that DarkDox /. What else we got going on here today? Oh yeah, so yeah, here's Zuck, man. This guy, I swear he's a robot.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression.
First of all, like, who talks like that? Hey everybody, how's it going? Da 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 da. Like, that is the most like trying to convince you of something. I mean, I know I'm a bit like rough around the edges and lackadaisical and whatever, but like, this is who I am. Like, meet me in person. This is the person who I am. This guy, I have no. Is he really like this in bed? And then, you know, I will. I'm not even gonna go there. But yeah, start this over. I'm sorry.
I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote non-stop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the...
I'm going to say it every time. It's not a democracy. We're making t-shirts, by the way. It's going to have the American flag. It's to say darkdox.com, not a democracy. So those are coming next week. Yeah.
arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions.
I got to hear that again, and that was confusing to me.
And it's gone
Can I make this bigger? All right,
so
cool.
I want to make sure touch with mainstream discourse is in a more comprehensive, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system.
Okay.
Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse.
They had those?
What
That's
started
crazy.
as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas.
You don't
And it's gone
say.
too far. So I want to
And
make
it's
sure
gone too
that people
far.
can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this
So
content
that was what
again.
we were.
So we're going to start phasing
We
this
were
back
news and
into Facebook,
politics
Instagram,
always,
and Threads,
because news
while
and
working to keep
politics.
the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our U.S.-based content review is
They're
going
going to
to be based in
Austin.
Texas.
I
As we
called
work
it.
to promote free expression, I think that will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams.
Oh my god.
Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The U.S. has the strongest constitutional protection.
Yo, Trump has Zuck by the balls. For real. Like, this was, hey, you broke a couple laws when I ran for president the last time. He's petty like that. He holds grudges. And I love him for it. I'm the same way, Like, but they were like, it would be really bad if you didn't join, the team, the MAGA team here with the Elons and the X's. And then he's like, yeah, okay, so I don't want to go to jail. That's what he doesn't look scared because he's a robot, so robot alien.
For free expression.
Right.
Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down.
It's true.
China has censored
Bad.
apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the U.S. government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the U.S. government has pushed for censorship.
Reminds me of that quote from Ronald Reagan. The scariest words are the government's here to help. We are the government, and we are here to help.
By going after us and other American companies,
I think that was
it
Reagan.
has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove.
Oh, like all that porn that I kept reporting and you kicked me off for reporting it, but then you kept the porn up and all of the splash emojis. That was like a decade ago. That was like 10 years ago. Yeah. 2015. Remember 2015, Zuck? Remember all of the fucking... Oh... You see, that's what pisses me off, So a little bit of backstory. If you don't know who I am, you don't know about DarkDox, and you just maybe know me from Sacred Owls or something else. I've been running DarkDox since, like 2014, 2015, I believe. When we first started, we were just HTML and a Facebook page and an Instagram, and that was it. We got on Twitter later. And then, but anyway, we were mostly in the Facebook incest groups, and we were finding all of these older people grooming children on the group in all the different places, and they were soliciting sex, images, photos, videos, and so we would take screenshots and then report it to the missing and exploited children, the FBI, and of course Facebook. And it seemed like no one did anything and in fact, no, I take that back. They did something. They kicked me off for sending them screenshots of that and the links to where they can find it on their own website. Like I was the problem. So this goes out to you, Zuck. You guys have been harboring pedophiles for like a decade. Let's talk about it, okay? And so I don't fucking trust that piece of shit. He can go fuck himself. I'm never coming back to Facebook. But I'm going to continue to expose that shit until I get some answers directly and financial compensation for, fucking with all of my businesses. That I was over there, trying to do business on your platform and bringing you traffic for a long ass time. So that's that. What else we got here? We're supposed to have a special guest, but he's missing. So I'm just kind of winging it, honestly. I do apologize. Tomorrow, I'm going to have my shit together. I mostly spent a lot of, this afternoon when I got off work. You see, I get off at 5, so I got like 2 hours to get my shit together. But, like, I was just setting up the chroma key stuff for the first time, so I do apologize for being a little bit caught off guard here. But hey, I got the chroma key going. So now I'm going to have lower thirds, I'm going to have funny graphics, and all kinds of fun stuff. So keep tuning in. I'm going to be doing this. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm taking Friday off, and I'm taking the weekend off. So 3-day weekends every week. And so from 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're doing DarkDox Digest. We did our first one yesterday for January 6th. We haven't had DarkDox Digest in, I don't know, a year. We did a couple special reports with Sound Investigations last year, and that was really good. They were the ones that were exposing the Pornhub tapes, and they've been doing some good stuff recently. They've been on InfoWars and everything. So the current status is darkdox.com is up, but we can't edit anything, and that's why we've been. It seems like we've gotten a bunch of attacks, and it's like WordPress sucks. Frankly, we're looking to jump off this platform. It's going to be a lot of work. And I'm going to put it in, and our team's going to throw it down too. But yeah, this has been a great site for a long time with this WordPress setup in our shop. But we might be having a separate shop, from whatever we'll see. But yeah, we haven't been able to post since, when was this? November 15th of last year. It's a damn shame. So we're working on all of that. I just wanted to give you guys an update on where we're at with DarkDox. But we're working on new films, new special features, special reports, and you can still, for now, maybe not for long, still look at that. You see it's redirecting. It's doing all kinds of crazy things. Really. And we're back. But yeah, you can still kind of peruse the archives, and we're slowly going to be. Never forget McCarthy's a boho. And it's still all up here. SacredOwls.com is still here. And for those of you that weren't tuned in yesterday, we're working on a new album. We're working on a new Tales of Terror 3 that's going to be coming out. So definitely check out SacredOwls.com, the new SacredOwls.com that we're going to be working on. Part of me just wants to go back to static HTML. No one can fuck with it. It doesn't break. I'm going to be bringing back PayPal drop-down menu HTML embed codes and thumbnails that go straight to MP4s and MP3s and PDFs. And what do you think? I'm thinking about it. This was a lot of fun for quite a while, though, having because I want you guys to be able to have the search functionality, and it's great having these shopping carts. It's so convenient, but not when it doesn't work. So if you've placed any orders, we're getting them, and I ship them directly. So the shop is still functional. I just can't add anything to it. So anyway, that's where we're at with DarkDox. And that's this video. Let's watch this video for a while. What do we got here? It's the 30-minute mark. Alright. So, do I still have this on here? I want to play a video for you guys. Because I've been doing these supplements. So I cut this ad yesterday. Gluten free. That's right. Oh man. So I'm gonna make some very funny ads for that whole thing. And but I really do like these supplements. The gummies are delicious, the CMOS ones, and like once you start taking them, I mean, your body starts craving, and it's not like a chemical addiction craving. It's like, oh, that feels good whenever I eat those. Like and I really don't think it's a placebo. Same thing with the iodine. Like, I notice it when I'm not taking it, and then when I start taking it, after a couple days, it kicks in. Like the nascent. This is the first time I'm doing the X2. The X3 though, I've been taking that for a while and I really like it. So far I don't notice it taste, but it tastes like a broken open, uh, like if you've ever had a fluorescent bulb, it's like it's that. But I don't know if it's any relation, but like that's like the flavor in my brain for that. Yeah, so we got to keep an eye on this. Also, the bird flu. So we have these two different things going on here. The LDH reports first U.S. H5N1 related human death. The current general public health risk remains low. Louisiana Department of Health reports the patient who had been hospitalized with the first human case of highly pathogenic avian influenza, APAI, or H5N1. The way they name these things, in Louisiana, and the U.S. has died. The patient was over the age of 65 and was reported to have underlying medical conditions. But the fact that they're even, putting out these whole things on, like, it's it's propaganda. Let's see what they're saying about the mainstream media bird flu fear psyop.
Our number one principle in preventing pandemics is detect. And if you go to the CDC website, you can see that they're monitoring more than 10,000 exposures, but they've only tested 530. What does that mean? That means we're not testing enough. And we know from other viruses that a lot of the spread can be asymptomatic. So we have rising flu cases, and now we have still zoonotic events coming. So now you've set up for potentially a farm worker getting H5N1, also getting the current flu strain, and reassorting in that individual. To me, that's almost a bigger threat to these mutations happening in individuals over time.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. InfoWars.com/.
It's all an unbelievable scam, and all of this in the context of scam after scam after scam, namely the most recent development that the CDC has confirmed the first severe case of bird flu with new mutations. I'm going to show you clip 46 here in a second. But remember, one person allegedly got the bird flu in Louisiana. This after months and months, if not years under this administration, of experts in mainstream media outlets and pundits and scientists and health advisors and health experts coming out and saying that, hey, this raw milk thing is really dangerous. Hey, there's a bird flu and eventually it's going to hop to humans. Finally, it's hopping to humans, allegedly. One person in Louisiana gets it. Gavin Newsom declares a state of emergency in California. You can hardly find a dozen eggs in California right now. I know because I was there over Christmas. I think they were charging like $12 a dozen if you could find them.
Yeah, remember the shortcut for this.
But the CDC is coming out
Sorry,
trying to make it a
guys.
thing. This is clip number 46 of CNN trying to make it a thing. Let's watch.
Morning new CDC report on the first severe human case of bird flu.
Yeah, Chase Geyser, I at first I wasn't too sure about him. I was like, who's this guy? I'm not gonna lie. Let's see, let's turn me back on. There we go. Um, I didn't like him at first, but lately he has really come in. I see what Alex saw in him and everybody. Like, he goes on these rants, and they are so thoughtful, and they have a nice flow to them. And he's like that giving you that pep talk for like that football game or something. Like it's he knows how to like give those speeches to make you feel like you got to do something. I appreciate that. I really do. Um, we could all have a little bit more of that, in my opinion. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's go to the council and let's go to CFR.org. I always like to do that. It's kind of fun. Like, I feel like I'm just like sharing the internet with whoever's watching this right now. It's nice. So yeah, the Council on Foreign Relations. Like, if you've never gone to CFR.org, it's interesting their takes on things. Let's just listen to where they're at now. Neutrality, an alternative to Ukraine's membership in NATO. While Ukraine's acceptance into the North, I have to do it in an NPR voice. While Ukraine's acceptance in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, appears unattainable, armed neutrality may be the country's next best option to protect against future Russian aggression. Article by Eugene Rumor. This is from today, this morning, 10 a.m. Blah, blah. It has become widely accepted that Ukraine is losing the war with Russia. Yeah. In less than 6 months, the prevailing narrative has shifted from achieving victory to avoiding defeat. Okay. The early successes of the Ukrainian army in 2022 inspired war aims that included the total liberation of Russian-occupied Ukrainian territory and holding Russia accountable for its war crimes. Those aim those aims no longer appear realistic. Just the way they write these things, I can't. Like, that's why I'm having a hard time. Like, get to the point. It's so flowery, but pretty much like you'll notice that they're just shifting the narrative completely. Where 6 months ago they're like they're gonna win. Yes, Russia's cooked. Like, and no evidence proved that. And us over here that we're looking at the alternative media, we're like, what are you talking about? And then they'll just gaslight you, be like, okay, like, well, that was then, this is now. Uh, yeah, so that pretty much covers it for today. I think I'm going to wrap up a little early. Because frankly, I'm hungry and I didn't get dinner. And you don't like me when I'm hangry. But I'll be back tomorrow and we'll have a solid hour. And there's going to be a lot of great stuff that I'm going to be breaking down tomorrow on January 5th on Hump Day. It's Wednesday. It's Sushi Day. If you have Publix here in Florida, I always look forward to Wednesdays for Sushi Day. But yeah, definitely consider checking out the alexjonesstore.com/DarkDox and support Alex, support DarkDox. I can make these things a lot cooler. We're working on a new album. We're working on some regional tours probably coming up in the next 6 to 8 months. So definitely check out sacredowls.com, the only YouTube channel that allows for live broadcasting of all of our different accounts for one reason or another for now. So thanks for tuning in. This is Christian Coffin saying, beware, take care, and